we are linguists, okay? So our concern is with language, not so much with social interaction, but rather with how the properties of the two languages involved in the switch, how are they dealt with by our brain? What happens inside our brain when you have to produce language, when you have to say things like, I don't know, I want to go to my casa, or I want to go to mi casa, or so where do I code switch exactly, at which grammatical point? And what we have been seeing in the studies that we have been conducting so far is that it depends a lot on the relationship that is established between the two languages, and in particular, it depends on okay, how can I put this? It depends on how the two languages of the bilingual are represented in the bilingual's mind, and with the degree of dominance that the specific speaker has of the two languages.
One of the myths, or one of those theories, has been that bilingual children, or those who pick up two languages from a very early age, seem to have some developmental issues later on with acquiring language skills in one or the other, and perhaps they're slower to grasp language skills.
Okay.
In a bilingual community like Gibraltar, it's an issue which is very much in the mind of parents. We've lived it historically, and there's now a shift to English, because our further education is in English, to the loss of Spanish. What would you tell parents out there?
I will tell them, don't be afraid, okay? Children can cope with 2, 3, 4, 5 languages. Children are not adults, are not us. We have a lot of problems with that. Children do not, okay? So picture what will happen if instead of one chair, you have to lift up 2 chairs. You have to go to the gym more often, right? For longer, okay? Because you don't have strength enough to actually pull up 2 chairs at the same time. Well, this is what happens to the brain, okay? When it has to, first of all, deal with 2 languages, okay? The brain has to say, okay, this goes from one language, this goes from the other. I receive input, I have to abstract all the rules, I have to create my statistics, okay? And deal with the grammatical properties of 2 different languages. All this takes time, and it takes longer, of course, because you are dealing with 2, not with 1, okay? So this means that while a monolingual child typically uses his first words at the age of 1, okay? A monolingual does so later on, sometimes 6 months later, and in some cases even like 12 months later. That is, the bilingual will not utter his first word up until year 2. I don't think that bilingualism is a problem. What I think is that we have to separate science and myth. And so this initial delay, does this happen? Yes. Is this overcome? Yes. And at the age of 5, which is when a child typically has acquired all the basic properties of the language or languages that he's exposed to, at the age of 5, the monolingual has acquired all the properties of one language. The bilingual has done so in 2 languages. So I will say to the parents, like, stay calm, they will get there, okay?